A crime scene goes quiet long before investigators arrive. By the time the police tape is unspooled, the most vocal witnesses have already left. To reconstruct what happened, our justice system traditionally leans on human memory. But memory is fragile. It is prone to misinterpretation, fades with time, and is easily altered by a suggestive question. Suspects understand this weakness. They can invent an alibi, hide a weapon, or employ a poison specifically designed to vanish before an autopsy even begins. Forensic medicine and toxicology exist to provide the data that human testimony cannot. This field functions as the mechanism that connects medical observation to the requirements of the law. It is built on a single, rigid premise found in the research. Facts do not lie. Men can and do. When human memory fails or a story is fabricated, the physical world holds a record. It is governed by unbreakable laws that allow the evidence to speak when the victim no longer can. Every investigative environment is defined by physical constraints. An investigator doesn't just look for a mistake, they look for the inevitable traces left behind by biology and physics. This search begins with the law of individuality. Whether nature-made or factory-built, no two objects in the universe are exactly identical. We see this in the ridge patterns on our own skin. The specific arrangement of whorls and loops on a finger belongs to only one person on Earth, a biological signature that cannot be duplicated. This law extends to man-made objects. When a bullet is forced down a gun barrel, the steel leaves distinct mechanical scratches, striations, that are unique to that specific firearm. These unique signatures drive Locard's law of exchange. Established by Edmond Locard in 1910, it dictates that every physical contact results in a transfer of material. This chart maps that exchange. It shows how microscopic evidence, like hair, body fluids, or fibers, continuously flows between the suspect, the weapon, the victim, and the scene. A perpetrator always brings something to the scene and leaves with something from it. By the time they flee, they have tethered themselves to the crime through a series of invisible physical bonds. That physical evidence is not permanent. Under the law of progressive change, the moment a crime ends, the evidence begins to degrade. Weather, biological decay, and human interference all act to erase the truth. This creates an immediate race for investigators to document and collect samples before they are lost to time. When death appears natural and the body shows no external signs of trauma, investigators rely on the law of analysis to look deeper into the chemical composition of the victim's tissues. This analysis is only as reliable as the sample itself. As this slide emphasizes, the value of the laboratory results depends entirely on the integrity of the collection process. Before testing can begin, the sample must follow a rigid protocol. It must be numbered, documented, labeled, and placed in proper storage. If the sample is contaminated, the analysis is useless. Finally, through the law of comparison, an unknown substance is placed next to a known control. By comparing the like samples, toxicologists can identify foreign chemicals in the body. This systematic rigor is how we distinguish a natural death from an invisible murder, forcing poisons to reveal if a death was accidental, suicidal, or homicidal. The findings from the laboratory eventually move into the courtroom, where microscopic data is translated into legal evidence. While the public often looks for an eyewitness, the justice system relies on circumstantial facts. Unlike human memory, physical evidence is used to infer a conclusion through logic and math. For example, finding a dead deer on a highway alongside vehicle debris allows you to infer a collision occurred, even if no one saw the impact. The aftermath proves the event. To bridge the gap between that inference and a final verdict, the legal system uses the law of probability, calculating the likelihood that an event occurred by chance. DNA testing shows this statistical power. By examining 16 distinct data points, or loci, on a strand, investigators can narrow a suspect pool from millions down to a single person. But even a high probability match is only admissible if the investigator can prove the evidence wasn't tampered with. This requires the law of chain of custody. This law mandates an unbroken, documented paper trail. Every person who touches a sample, from the crime scene to the laboratory bench, is recorded to ensure the evidence remains pure. A criminal can lie, scrub a floor, or hide a weapon,
but they cannot rewrite the laws of science. When the human witness is gone or unreliable, the physical record remains,